Hey guys, Harth here again, and I'm finally back after not really making any videos for a while. I promise I'm gonna change that. I keep saying that, but I promise that I'm going to actually start making videos again. And to start that, I'm bringing you a game of Smite. So since this is my first video, and since Smite is in closed beta and still relatively new, I'm going to first off just explain what the game is, maybe talk a little bit about the business model, that kind of stuff, and then we'll actually get into talking about this actual game itself. Now, okay, I guess I should do this. For people who do know what Smite is, I'll just say that I'm playing Anhur. I'm laning with a friend who's playing Sobek, and I've got another friend who's playing Kali over in the left lane. We're on the right lane, and we're laning against a Bastet and an Odin. This is a third-person MOBA. Smite is a third-person MOBA. It's sort of... It's more comparable to League of Legends, I think, than it is Dota. Because it is last-hitting, but not denying. It's not as complex as Dota, just like League of Legends isn't as complex as Dota. And it's got a similar business model as well. You know, in Dota, all the heroes are free. But here, it's free to play. The game will be free to play. You have to either get an invite currently from a friend or someone on Reddit. I'm sure you can go to Reddit and get a key in no time. It's currently in closed beta, so you have to have a key, or you can buy the gems, which are the in-game currency, and you automatically get a beta key with any purchase of gems. So, just like League of Legends, you can buy champions with either in-game points or gems, and you can also buy skins with gems. There's some new skins that you can buy with in-game currency, that kind of stuff. It's the same business model, exact same business model. Let's see. Well, okay. The thing I find most interesting about Smite, aside from it being a third-person MOBA, is that all of the characters, if you haven't noticed, are based in actual mythology, which is kind of cool. It's just a little cool. Especially for someone like me who has a huge interest in mythology, it's sort of like, it's just incredibly cool. Especially because it's really expansive, and Hi-Rez Studios, the developers, really know what they're doing. And there's so much potential for future gods. There's just... It's limitless, it really is, and that's one of the things I love most about this game. This was actually my first MOBA. Aside from, like, a couple of games of League of Legends a long time ago, this was essentially my first MOBA. When I started playing a few weeks ago, actually it's been quite a few weeks now. I was playing a couple of weeks after the beta first came out. And I've been enjoying it ever since. It's really fun. I would post a key to go along with this video, but I don't have any keys left, unfortunately. I was going to do that, but then I think both of the keys are taken, so that's unfortunate. But getting a key isn't too hard. Plus, you could just drop $8. Look at, like a fool, I mess up and miss my skill shot. Oh, did I mention that pretty much everything in this game are skill shots, even the auto attacks? Yeah. That's kind of awesome as well. So, getting into this, you'll see that if you look up at the map in the top right, you'll notice it's very similar to, well, any other MOBA, because it is a MOBA. Unless you hate that term, in which case, I'm still going to call it a MOBA, just to piss you off. Each lane has 2 towers, and then a Phoenix behind that. You'll see the Phoenixes in a little while. The Phoenixes also act as inhibitors. I believe they're called in League of Legends. I don't play League, so I think they're called inhibitors. But once the Phoenix goes down, you start spawning super minions in that lane, so it's the same thing, essentially. And then, well, okay, the Phoenixes do also shoot like towers, and they hurt a lot. And then behind the 3 Phoenixes is a Minotaur. That's essentially the end thing. I can't remember what they're called in League or Dota, which is weird because I've been playing a lot of Dota recently. Ever since I started playing this game, I've had a Dota 2 invite for the longest time. One of my friends gave it to me, and I haven't really played it. But now that I started playing this, I'm getting into Dota, and it's really fun. Future videos, perhaps. Once I actually get some measure of skill in that game. Oh, I should also mention, this is a pretty average game. It's actually fairly short, and it's a pretty average game. Anyone who's seen any of my WoW videos or my Star Wars videos knows that I don't like to cherry pick games and just choose things in which I end up being really good. I prefer videos that are more accurate to a real game rather than playing 50 games and getting one good game. I would prefer to show off a bunch of average games so as to get a better idea of what my actual playing is like. So this is fairly average. I don't think I actually show the scoreboard towards the end, but I think I end up like 4 or 5 or 6 and 1, something like that. It's not that impressive, but I thought it would be a good example for a first commentary on the game. So that will never get old to me. The way that Odin just sort of leaped forward and then I knocked him back with the spear. Anhur's spear, his 2, it never gets old. It never gets old. So I guess for anyone wondering who doesn't know about Smite, let me explain my character a little bit. This is Anhur, the Egyptian god of war, the slayer of enemies, if you will. His 1 is a sort of, it's an obelisk. I wish that I played other MOBAs enough that I could compare skills to other MOBAs, but I can't. It summons an obelisk out of the ground. You can't, it's a physical wall. It's not a wall, it's an obelisk. It's not that big. And it summons like this ring of sand around the obelisk that slows enemies, and enemies who stand in it take more damage from your basic attacks. His 2 is it's sort of low cooldown nuke ability. It does a fair amount of damage. It knockbacks, and if during the knockback the person hit with it collides with a wall of any kind, like your 1, they get stunned for a couple of seconds. Your 3 is a leap, which has a knockback on land. It's kind of cool. Of course, I mainly use it as an escape tactic more than anything. And then his 4 is like a machine gun. It is essentially a machine gun, and it's kind of awesome. Oh, I should explain the shop, because that's kind of different. In Dota and League, I believe, you have the more traditional idea of building items. Like, you'll buy, say, Boots of Speed, and then something else to create, like, a better pair of boots that have the stats of both items. Well, in this game, you don't build items, you level them up. For example, at the start of the game, I built level 2 Warrior Tabi, which is the melee DPS boots. And you can upgrade those, you can upgrade all the items up to level 3, and upon each upgrade, they gain more stats. And a lot of level 3 items tend to have, like, bonus things, like an additional stat gain or, like, an aura. There are a lot of, like, physical protection debuff aura for enemies, magic debuff aura, things like that. There are also ability items, which are their own category. Like, in Dota, you'll have, like, Blink Dagger and stuff, which are extra, like, abilities that can be activated. Here, they're their own category, and they're all sort of uniform things, like speed boost, 2-second invulnerability, but you can't move or attack. No, okay, just to interrupt myself. This was a pretty cool trick, I thought. Somehow, for some reason, the Odin thought it would be a good idea to come in here. So, we ended up walling him in and killing him. Because he went in and Bastet realized it wouldn't be a good idea to go in there. So, we managed to get a kill on Odin there. Anyway, the store is... Oh, you can only carry one consumable. Like, well, you can carry multiple consumables, but you can only carry one type of consumable. You can't carry health potions and mana potions. You can't carry health or mana potions and a ward. You can only carry one at a time, which adds a bit of a strategic dynamic to it. Let's see here. Trying to think if I'm missing anything else about the game, mechanics-wise. All the jungle camps have buffs on them, so if you look at the map, you'll see at our bottom tower, at our bottom right tower, well, the second right tower, there is a yellow protection buff. In the middle of the right lane, there is a damage buff. And up at the top, there is a health buff. It's mirrored on the other side, but the health buff on our side rather than theirs. Then there are mana and movement speed buffs and cooldown buffs, cooldown reduction buffs on the other side, in the middle of the jungle. Then on the left side, in the middle of the jungle, you have the Fire Giant, which is essentially Roshan, and then you have the Gold Fury, which is essentially Dragon. And I realize I just compared like one thing to Dota and one thing to League, but get off me. Yeah, it's comparable to Baron, if you would prefer, rather than Roshan. So there's that. Now let's see. Let's just talk a bit about this individual game, shall we? At this point, we've managed to take down one tower in each lane, having only lost our middle tower, and we've had a bit of damage taken to our left tower. It works very similar to any Moba. You know, you have your laning phase, your mid game, and then your end game, which is full of team fights. But this game sort of emphasizes last hitting more than anything. What the hell am I saying? That was not right at all. For some reason, I got Dota in my mind, and that's not true at all. The game features last hitting, but it's not as big a deal. It's definitely not as big a deal as it is in Dota. Definitely not. Not even close to the kind of deal that it is in Dota. It is the most important thing in Dota. It's not that important here. You get experience and gold whether you last hit or not. You do get a bonus if you last hit, but it's nowhere near as important as in Dota. Which is why oftentimes you'll see me sort of ignoring it like a scrub. It's still important and you should still do it, but it's not like game ending if you fuck it up like it is in Dota. So, let's see here. We're pushing middle lane now. And as you can see, it's only 12 minutes in and we're about to get it. We've already like sort of engaged in a bit of a team fight. It's a lot more combat oriented, focusing on like actual team fights rather than you know, farming and such, which would be a plus to a lot of people, because a lot of people don't like the farming aspect or how long laning phases can take in Dota. And I can't say I blame them. Laning phases can take a while in Dota. So having a game focused like exclusively on combat is pretty cool. Now what you're seeing here is Sobek just popped his ultimate and almost killed the Artemis, so I picked her off with my 2. And then I think, yeah, Hades just destroyed that Raw. I've noticed that there are 2 kinds of Hades in this game. The really, really bad ones that build physical power, and the really, really good ones who absolutely destroy. I'm not making that up, actually. I've seen a Hades build physical damage. And nothing but physical damage. Right here, I make a bit of a mistake. I misjudge how close that Anhur was to me, and then he just sort of ultied all over my face and killed me. It's unpleasant, to say the least. So I picked up... Actually, no, I haven't picked up level 3 Devourer's Gloves. I almost have. And yeah, I realized that I've only got level 2 boots. I don't think it's that big a deal, though. So just, like, chill out. I don't think it's that big a deal. Here, I'm trying to sneak up behind them to engage in this team fight. Hades pops his ultimate, and then, for some reason, I think it would be a good idea to pop my ultimate. That was a bit of a mistake, I feel. But, what can you do? So now I'm recalling to go get my level 3 Devourer's Gloves. Devourer's Gloves are an item that grant me more physical power the more creeps I kill. I get permanent stacks of physical power. Like, I think it's half of physical power for every minion killed, and then, like, I think it's 4 or 5 stacks for every player kill. So at this point, since I got level 3, I'm just going to go over to the creep camps and this lane and just farm for a little bit. I'll take this yellow camp, the protection buff, and then move up to the jungle to the damage camp and take that. and then head into the lane where I believe I get ambushed by 3 or 4 people, or maybe we engage in another team fight. I can't exactly remember. So if you look up at my map now, you'll see that Hades and Ra have pushed up to the enemy Phoenix, and they're about to get cornered by 3 people. But I think they'll be okay. Sobek is heading into my lane, and yeah, I'm going to go up here with him after I finish off this creep camp and lane with him for a bit. I think we're going to take that tower. I'm not entirely sure, but I think we're gonna at least start putting some pressure on that tower.
An ally has been slain.
We're going to be met by, I think, Artemis and
Your team has destroyed the left enemy tower.
Anhur, maybe. I think Bastet tries to sneak up behind us, but nothing really comes of it. At this point, I'm still just focusing on last hitting. I've told Sobek to, not take my last hit so I can get stacks, and he's very generous enough. It's Odin, not Anhur, and he's very generous enough to let me do so. He's a monster of a Sobek. He really is. I'm gonna have to get more games where we lane together because I don't know, he's a resilient little bastard. He doesn't die. It's even worse when he plays in mirror, to be honest. You see, I stunned that Bastet with my 2 and then popped my ulti on her. Then Odin just sort of uses his ulti and I leap out of it. And nothing really happens. I swear, I don't know what I would do not having a leap on half the characters I play because it's so easy to escape that ultimate. Odin's ultimate is so easy to get out of. Emir's ultimate, Wukong's ultimate, I guess, to an extent. Kinda Sobek, assuming he doesn't follow you, which he should. Hades is another good one. And then Kali sort of comes out of nowhere and gets a double kill because that's what he does. As many times as I've played with this guy, he just sort of comes out of nowhere and gets double kills all the time. So now we're going to push up, and I believe we're going to take this tower, which will, yeah, that'll eliminate all their towers, leaving only their Phoenixes and their Minotaur to go. Meanwhile, we still have 2 left and 2 right. Anhur's going to come up here and try and stop us, but he gets flung back by Sobek. I straight up kill him with that. I thought I pinned him to the wall, but I just straight up killed him with that. Which is acceptable. I'll take that as well. We take down that tower, and I believe we're going to back off here, or, I don't know, yeah, we're going to back off, I think. I'm going to B, because I have 1,700 gold to spend. I'm going to finally get level 3 boots. I feel, looking back at it, I feel like I'm a little bit, like, behind gold-wise in this. I mean, I'm not, but I just feel like it. I'm not sure why. And yeah, I probably should start getting Devourer's Gloves before Fatalis, but I really like the attack speed. I really like the attack speed. Bastet has managed to take our tower on left. Meanwhile, Sobek's getting chased by a couple of people up here. Well, he's not being chased, but there's a bit of a skirmish with them. So I was going to go up there and help him, but he beat. He's okay. So now I'm going to grab this movement speed buff just for more stacks, not really for the buff. And after that, I think I'm going to go, yeah, I'm going to go right. I thought about going left, which is why you're going to see me turn around here. I thought about going over to left to help Sobek with Bastet, but then she backed off, so I decided to just go right and deal with Odin. And at this point, I think I'm going to sort of pressure this Odin a little bit, and then 2 of them, I think Artemis and Ra, are going to sneak up on me because I wasn't paying attention to my map. He pops his ulti, I leap out of it, and he sort of stands there. And I'm looking at my map. Artemis comes out there. She stuns me with her boar. Anhur leaps in. I jump out, do that, and leave. Anhur has a lot of escaping power. I don't think that was luck as much as it was Anhur just being a little ridiculous with all of his abilities to get out of, like, shit. Like, that was completely shut down. It was 3 people trying to take me down. It was completely shut down by the use of 2 skills. Which is a little ridiculous. It helps that their Artemis wasn't fed to all shit, but... because if she was, she probably would have killed me in like 3 auto attacks, because that's how Artemis works. I'm one of the few people who seems to believe that Artemis is legitimately stupid. Like, there's no need for a hero, even a carry, to be that strong. But I'm not going to get into talks of balance, because it is beta. Remember, it's beta. So, now we've pushed up mid again, and we're about to get into another team fight. This game's actually almost over. We're going to push up here and, I believe, kill every last one of them with the exception of Bastet, because she just doesn't fucking die. You'll actually see, we get really close to bringing her down towards the end of the game, but then she leaps through a fucking wall. So Hades pops his ultimate, after I honestly feel like he stole that raw kill from me, so I pop my ultimate and steal a kill from him. And then Choo Choo Train comes out of nowhere and gets a double kill again, because that's what he does. Right? Every time I play with him, it's one of 2 things. He's either like coming out of nowhere and just getting double kills or triple kills, or he's just backdooring an entire lane by himself. It happens at least once a game. So that Phoenix sort of melted because right here, I pin Bastet to the wall, she almost dies, and then she leaps through the wall. I don't know why you can leap through that. I honestly don't understand. I mean, I realize it's not like a complete wall, like it doesn't go all the way to the top of the building, but she literally let through that shit. And right here, they're going to surrender. It's like a 4-to-1 surrender mode. Which, it doesn't really matter because the Minotaur would have fallen either way. So, anyway, that's Smite in a nutshell. I'll be posting more commentary soon. Many more heroes. Anything you'd like to see, leave a rate, like it, dislike it, comment, subscribe, send me death threats, whatever. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.